your first step is to get a pan, preferably a sheet pan, and spray the bottom of the pan. Then line it in parchment paper and then spray the top of that. The next step is to add the 7 eggs, 7 yolks, and your sugar and vanilla in a mixing bowl. Then you're going to turn it on and whisk it until it becomes a thick ribbon-like substance. Let's check it to see if it forms soft peaks, which means if you do this, it should be able to stay in there at least 2 seconds, which it needs a little bit more. So let's whip a little bit more. Now let's check it again. Make sure it can hold a soft ribbon-like texture for 2 seconds, and it does. Okay, now we're ready. Now that your egg mixture is good, take your cake flour and fold that into the egg mix. Not stir, but fold. Fold means get up underneath the bottom. Get up under the bottom and just keep lifting, which you're folding it into there instead of stirring. It looks like stirring, but it's folding. Stirring is this way. You don't want too much tunneling, which means like air pockets that there's no egg, there's no cake there. So you just get up at the bottom, make sure you get in that flour. And this is a chocolate sponge cake, so and most people add their cocoa powder in their flour. I just do it a little different so that I know it's not, but you can always add it into your flour and mix it in. But I'm going to add my cocoa powder now. Slightly add your cocoa powder in. Do the same thing, fold it in. Smells so chocolatey. Keep folding until it's well mixed. Keep folding. Make sure you're getting at the bottom of the bowl because flour does sit at the bottom or the cocoa. And this is what it looks like. Still 2-second ribbon folds in it. Once again, make sure you get at the bottom because that's where it hides. And this is what it should look like after mixing. Set this aside and start on your egg now. White. Your 7 egg whites. Place them in your mixer. Make sure your bowl is completely clean and dried out, otherwise it will not whisk. And your powdered sugar. And whip that. put that on medium high.
Okay, I always forget to turn back on the speaker. So right here, I have whipped it, I have mixed it and folded it completely in the egg whites. So now I'm going to basically pour it out onto the sheet pan and just kind of make sure it's like leveled out so that it bakes and rises evenly. So just make sure you spread it in each corner. You could tap it on the counter also. You just want to make sure it's in every crevice of the pan so when you take the wax paper and roll it, it's evenly. So that's basically what I'm doing right here. Just making sure it's even all over. Now place this in the, okay, like I said, 7 to 8 minutes in the oven. I took it out and I began to roll it with gloves because it's still hot and it's a ready to eat food. But begin to roll it so it takes the shape of a roll and you could just unroll it and put whatever you're going to put inside of it, which we're using buttercream frosting while it's still hot. Okay, right here I have completely rolled them, but I did it in two, so I cut my parchment paper when I first put it in my pan so that I'll be able to do more rolls when I cut it to fit into the bowl. So, you just want to keep it rolled so while it's cooling, it takes that shape of that roll. So that's basically what I'm doing right here. I'm going to unroll it so that you can see how it's taking the shape. And you could just add your filling whatever sort you would want to try on the inside of that. Set aside so it can cool.
Okay, now I'm gonna teach you how to do the caramel buttercream frosting to smear on the inside. I just want to do something a little different. So you'll need a half a pound of butter, which is 2 sticks of butter. You'll need a pound of powdered sifted sugar. You'll need caramel sauce of some sort. And just to give it a little extra, I add caramel extract in my frosting. So what you're going to do is you're going to mix this with the paddle mixer, and you're going to mix it until the butter turns pale white. So we're going to mix that now. I usually add 2 tablespoons of milk, but being that the caramel is the extra thing in it, I don't want it to be too soft, so I won't add the milk. 2 teaspoons of milk. So being that it's only a half a pound, it doesn't take that long to become pale white. So I usually add my extract in while the butter is still mixing, so it gets that flavoring. So like I said, just a teaspoon, basically what you would call a pinch, but it's liquid, so like a half a teaspoon or a teaspoon. And then make sure you stop in between and scrape down your sides, because unfortunately the butter sticks to the sides, and you want, when you add your sugar, it to be mixed in completely, and you want to scoop the bottom also so that when you add the sugar, it goes completely in. add some of your sugar. But make sure you turn it back on low and then make it go higher, because if you just turn it on high speed, it will be everywhere. I've done that several times. And another key factor, please make sure your butter is softened, room temperature, not melted, because then you'll have soupy frosting. Not too hard, because then it'll take a long time for it to basically mix together. And the reason I'm adding my sugar slowly, because I don't want it to clump up. Same thing with the sugar. You want it to mix in with the butter, so you'll lift it and scrape down the sides once again. Okay, I'm going to continue to mix this until it's slowly soft and fluffy. I'll be right back. Now that it's whipping, I'm going to slowly add in my caramel. Okay, now that the caramel buttercream frosting is made, we're going to unroll the sponge cake. See how it still has that flexibility, but also still you can unroll it basically. So we're just going to take some of this and we're going to add it to the cake. We're going to take our spatula and basically just smooth it out in between the cake. Try to get it as even as you can so that it rolls perfect, and when you cut it you can see this oh so good caramel buttercream. Now I'm going to use this wax paper again. I'm put this side in. Wait, I'm sorry. So I'm going to take it this time without the wax paper, and you're just going to slowly roll it again. Just like this. Kind of like a cinnamon roll. Pressing the bottom, and then you can place this in a refrigerator, the freezer, to get it a little hard if you want. Or being that I'm going to place it in the freezer anyway, take a knife and just cut it. Just like that. And take each roll in that pre-plastic bowl that we had. I'm just going to lay it flat in there. I'm going to put it all over this bowl. And then I'm going to take it and stick it in the freezer so that I can get the shape of this bowl. Now, you can do different recipe cake and frosting or filling. You can also do a brownie. That's a good flavored. Okay, now you take a more plastic cling wrap and add it to the inside. And then once you do that, take a bowl and place it on the inside. Get a bowl that is something like a little smaller than that bowl, like this, so that it can be placed and you can push it down. Now that you've done that, place it in the freezer. So I warmed up 1/4 cup of heavy cream, and I have some chopped up white chocolate. I'm just going to pour this cream over this chocolate to warm it up to make a white chocolate ganache to add to the chocolate royale. So you just slightly pour it over and let it sit while it melts, okay?
Now that I have filled it up with the ice cream, I took that plastic I set aside and I pushed it back on, and I just began to smash it down. Not too hard because you don't want to smash your cake, but so that it can fill into the crevice and make almost another dome to be able to add the last bit of your cake roll at the bottom. But because we mixed the heart attack, we had to do chocolate with a little bit of the Royale, so this is the two mixed together. So it wouldn't be right without the Oreos. So we're going to set this in the freezer.
Okay, I let this freeze for about 20 minutes. I'm removing the bowl, removing the plastic, and the ice cream is still trying to set up, but I wanted to go ahead and show y'all. Remember the Oreos? Just placing the inside. And I'm glad I'm doing it while it's still, the ice cream is still a little melted, so that it softens up the cookies. So when you go to cut into it, it goes right in. And y'all know I love caramel, so just a little drizzle on the inside. Remember, this is the Royale mix with the heart attack. So, gotta make sure you have a little bit of both of the desserts in. What I'm gonna do is grab some gloves so that I can pick up the cake. And now that I have my gloves, I'm gonna grab the cake and just place it and put one in the middle to give it stability. But I'm going to take it and place it at the bottom of this bowl so that it keeps everything in the bomb, is what it's called, together. Helps seal everything on the inside. And then once you've done this, you're going to take it and freeze it again. Now we're going to add a little bit of garnish, which is, being that it's white chocolate, we're going to add a little white chocolate garnish. Just to add a little extra something. Now let's cut it. And there you have it. Your chocolate Royale Bombe. Please try it and place it down below so that I can see some of yours.